Let me set the stage. You're in your living room, scrolling through TikTok, and every other video is a smiling toddler or a family doing the latest dance trend. Your spouse turns to you and says, "I want to do this, share our family story online." Now, what would you do? That's exactly where I find myself. My wife is passionate about building a lifestyle influencer career, hoping to support our family while being a stay-at-home mom. I support her dream truly. But here's the conflict. I drew a line about putting our kids, ages 3 and 5, on social media, no exceptions. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that a bit harsh? Can't you just compromise? Trust me, I've asked myself that 100 times. But the internet is permanent taunts, something's out there, it's like digital ink. It never really goes away. That's the permanence of content creation, what the tech world calls a digital footprint. And here's the emotional crux. I want to protect our kids' right to privacy, even if they can't articulate that need yet. But I also want my wife to feel fulfilled and successful. It feels like a tug of war between two love my kids' safety and my wife's dreams. So, how do you balance a spouse's ambition with a parent's instinct to protect? That's the first knot I'm trying to untangle today. Let's zoom in on a critical concept, consent. Technically defined, it's permission for something to happen, but what does that look like for a 5-year-old? Can a toddler truly comprehend what it means to have their face online, potentially forever? Imagine your own childhood moments awkward, silly, maybe even embarrassing. Now, picture those moments, not as hazy memories, but as videos on a public platform, replayed by anyone, anytime. That's what psychologists warn about digital permanence. Once posted, content can be screenshotted, shared, or even used in unexpected ways. Think about the term data scraping, where information is gathered and used, sometimes for reasons you never intended. Now you might be thinking, but what if our account only has a few followers? Who's really watching? Well, let me tell you a story. A friend of mine posted a harmless family video, which was later picked up and reshared, going mini viral in a parenting forum. Suddenly, their private moment was being discussed and critiqued by strangers. The heartache isn't just hypothetical. Kids have grown up to discover their digital histories had consequences. Sometimes it's teasing at school, other times it's awkward questions in job interviews. Is it fair to put that on them before they can decide for themselves? That's why, for me, protecting their autonomy isn't just about today's comforts, about safeguarding their future selves from unintended fallout. Let's talk about the emotional storm this stirs up at home. My wife feels like I'm holding her back not just from a career, but from being seen and valued for her full self. She said, "It's impossible to make it on TikTok as a family influencer if you can't show your family." Now, if you're listening and thinking, isn't there a middle ground? Trust me, I've searched for it. I've offered full support, even suggested she pivot niches or take a traditional job, since we're lucky enough to afford childcare. But to her, it feels like I'm stacking the deck, keeping the financial and emotional leverage on my side. Let's pause on that word leverage. In relationships, it's a loaded term, often tied to power dynamics and money. And yes, I worry about being perceived as controlling. But at the core, my motive isn't about money or power, it's about safety and respect for our kids' boundaries. This is the real-life tension between personal ambitions and shared responsibilities. How do you support your partner's goals while upholding your own values, especially when those values affect your children's futures? The resolution for us is still unfolding, but acknowledging each other's fears and hopes without dismissing them as irrational is our first step toward healing and understanding. So where does this leave us? If you've ever faced a similar crossroads, you know there's no script for the perfect solution. But what if the real answer isn't about winning, but about evolving together? We've started exploring alternatives. Could my wife build community through storytelling, sharing her journey as a mom without showing the kids' faces? There are creators who use clever camera angles or animations, leveraging content anonymization to protect privacy while still being authentic. Now, you might wonder, will that be enough? Can a family brand survive without front and center family? Maybe the path is harder. But let me tell you a story about another influencer couple who pivoted to parenting advice, crafts, and lifestyle hacks, never showing their children, yet growing a loyal following for their honesty and creativity. At the end of the day, our family story is still being written. We're learning to listen, to compromise, and to respect the unseen consequences of our choices. Digital legacy, that's the technical term for what we leave behind online, and we want ours to be one our kids thank us for. So, to everyone navigating the intersection of dreams, technology, and family, the real triumph isn't in the follower count, but in the trust and respect we build within our own four walls.